A few weeks ago, you may recall me devoting a few episodes to a new prog festival in Montreal. Now, while that was a new kid on the block, one of the long-standing festivals is coming back very soon, and that one is the appropriately named ProgStock, returning once again to Rutherford, New Jersey, with a tasty selection of prog artists and a convention atmosphere. I had the pleasure of talking all about the varied artists and artisans coming to the 9th edition of ProgStock with Ann Rinaldi and Tom Palmieri, who are the creators of the event. And, as a special treat, we were joined by one of the festival's biggest fans, podcaster extraordinaire, and my buddy, Ken Gregory of the Progressive Palaver podcast. So, get comfortable, and all of us will tell you all about ProgStock 2025. So welcome to the show, Ann Rinaldi, Tom Palmieri. Who says Italians don't run northern Jersey, right?
Yeah, we run it into the ground. But yes, we run it.
Fair enough. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. This is great getting to talk to you folks. And as a special reward for joining me, I have a surprise. Joining us from the great state of PA, or actually wherever he is at the moment, 25% of the Progressive Palaver. That would be one Ken Gregory joining us right here. And he is somewhere in transit.
He's just a bunch of purple dots.
Right? He's looked better. There he is.
There he is in the car.
Indeed. There we go. All right. So that is now all of us. Greg, welcome. Greg. Ken, welcome. Ken Gregory.
Right. So I convinced the guy.
Twin,
Do we have echoes? I'm hearing wicked echoes. Yeah. Okay, so I convinced my podcast brethren from Texas to get to ProgStock after about 4 years, but it's taken 6 years to convince Dave to get to ProgStock, and he's right in the Garden State. He's practically neighbors, so I'm very proud of this feat. Even though I'm the slowest guy in Prague, I'm the slowest networker you could have. I'm going to put bands on my roster and book them for 2030.
There you go. In my defense, I am still comparatively new to Jersey, so it's only 2.5 years. And last year we had just gotten back from 2 weeks in Germany and Switzerland, and that was not making it up for ProgStock that year.
Sure. Where did you come to Jersey to escape from?
We are in Audubon, so South Jersey. And actually, I wasn't so much escaping from as running to. Moved in with my girlfriend who lived in Jersey, and overall it just was easier to do that way because my job at the time was full-time remote and hers was only part-time remote. So,
Gotcha.
There we go. I find myself in New Jersey.
So it wasn't the lure of the Garden State.
Not exactly. No, I miss hills. There are no hills.
You just come up North Jersey. We got plenty of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the rumor. I've got to get up there and try that. I know for whatever reason down here, as we were kayaking down, the Padstow River. Last year, we kayaked down, I can't think of the other river right now. Doesn't matter. But in both cases, as repeatedly throughout the trip, 6 hours, by the way, I called out, "This is not a river. This is barely a creek."
Right.
And in some places, not even that. And I get to thinking, I'm like, we've got these two rivers. We've got Mount Holly. We've got Mount Laurel. There are no mountains. South Jersey is very clearly overcompensating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want mountains, you got to come up north.
Yeah.
A little bit. And hey, at least where you live, though, you're not far from a venue that quite often has a lot of good prog at it, being the Scottish Rite.
Indeed. We could walk there if we wanted to. That's the great thing about it. Yeah.
It's a good place.
I will say I am inspired and I will try. I finally had my first in-person interview. Like I started this while COVID was kind of still going on. So nothing's been anything but remote. got my first one of those. I'm going, there's a certain Mr. Hackett that really enjoys the Scottish Rites Auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking a shot. I didn't
He
expect to
often
get the
does
one I got.
back-to-back.
What's that?
He does 2 nights in a row there usually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be in October.
Mhm.
So, but meanwhile, well, the week after you guys. So,
That's right. Yeah, it's a very popular month
Yeah.
for prog artists to tour this area of the country.
Yeah, October is shaping up to be a great prog month. So let's talk about your part of that. I admit I have been remiss, and it has, for various reasons over the years, taken me a while to finally make my way up to North Jersey for ProgStock. And you're only on your 9th season. So yeah, I am behind the curve just a wee bit.
Well, hey, living with shame is something you can get used to. It's okay.
Yeah.
There'll be a hazing ritual.
Right. Initiation. Yes. Right.
Okay. As long as it involves Steve Hogarth, I'm cool with it.
You got it.
All right.
Bring a bottle of his favorite gin, and you'll be all set.
Oh, I must find out about that.
Mhm.
So tell us about ProgStock, folks. For those that aren't already familiar, that don't know the whole story and the history and what's going on this year, give us the rundown.
Sure. You want to start?
I mean, we'll do a quick history because
Yeah.
there are just probably so many podcasts and radio shows littered with the drawn out version of this. But Tom threw a outdoor party in 2017.
2016.
2016.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I was at the indoor party in
That's right.
2017.
That's right.
Tom threw an outdoor party in 2016 just to see if he could attract more than flies.
Mhm.
And about 75 people showed up, and
With some flies.
Yes.
Each of them.
and
Yes.
it rained cats, dogs, and small farm animals. So bad it got all muddy and horrible. Although the music apparently was great. And he got up on stage to say something about all that, and mentioning that it was rather a bit like Woodstock. And somebody yelled
In
out,
terms of the bad weather and the mud between us and the bathrooms and all that stuff.
and well, the water wasn't as expensive though.
That's true.
And somebody yelled out ProgStock, and if that person comes after us for royalties, they owe us about $10,000.
Yeah,
So.
right. Yeah, a percentage of negative is not a good thing to ask for. Yes.
But that stuck, and the following year, Tom actually launched the festival in a theater, thus avoiding the elements. And that year, I was tour managing a band and came to the festival. And the next year, I became the co-producer of the festival. Because I moved to Jersey to move in with my boyfriend. Sound familiar?
It does.
Although I had lived in New Jersey before. Last year at ProgStock 2024, I married the silly guy. So
She became the co-producer of my life.
Yes.
So
amazing.
Oh, that didn't just happen at the wedding. But yeah, we got married on stage on the last day of ProgStock 2024. So that's kind of the quick arc of ProgStock, but I'll let Tom tell you what ProgStock is.
That's more like the parentheses, what it started and how it last ended.
Exactly.
But, and all through the middle, we've had a few festivals.
Some festivals and stuff.
Yeah. And so this is our 9th year. I think you already said that. We had the first 3 years at a wonderful theater called the Union County Performing Arts Center in Rahway, New Jersey. And it was a great starting venue for us, and we had a lot of great experiences there. And then COVID came, and in 2020, like everybody else, we had to go a little bit underground. So for just about the entirety of that year, we actually worked with a lot of musicians, teaching them how to live stream high quality audio and decent video from their homes or their home studios. And then produced nearly 200 shows that year, all from people doing it at home with a little bit of IT work from me and a lot of marketing and production work from myself and Ann. And then we ended it in October of 2020 with the virtual festival, ProgStock Virtual, where we brought we took it the other way around. We instead went to a venue where a few bands could come because they lived close by, and we had a skeleton crew and live streamed it for the first time that we had ever done a big production that way, live streamed. And then the next day went to a venue in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and we had to do that. For those who remember, or maybe don't, there was a time when you couldn't cross the border from Pennsylvania to New Jersey due to COVID lockdown regulations. So we went to Pennsylvania, which was allowed, and then hosted 3 bands there. And then ever since then, we've been streaming it. So now 2021 and 22, we continued in Rahway, adding live streaming to it. But in 23, we felt that it was time to find a venue. We actually, before then, felt it was time to find a venue that could allow us to expand to include the other elements that we wanted this festival to actually be from the very beginning. I know I had those thoughts, and then Ann and I shared them, which was not just music, to try and add other elements to it that made it more enticing, more fun and enjoyable, and a little bit more varied. So we added fine artists over time. We added interviews with key figures in the progressive rock world or adjacent to it. And we just needed a bigger space with more room. And that's what made us find and move to the Williams Center in Rutherford. This will be our 3rd year there on stage. And we use pretty much the whole building, which means we have stuff going on in about 5 different rooms. So it's the way I describe it now is I say it's a progressive rock music experience meets Comic-Con.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But one important tenet for us that we stand by is that there's never something else happening while a main stage performance is happening.
Right.
So there's no deciding, are you going to go see this band or that band? If you're billed for ProgStock on the main stage, everybody who's coming is going to go see that band.
Perfect.
So, that's an important. It's always been an important thing to us. But yeah, ProgStock has become more of a convention than just a music festival, including authors that, like Tom was saying, are prog adjacent. Like this year we have Kevin J. Anderson, who's a sci-fi author, but also worked with Rush, making the Clockwork Angels series. He just released a book series called Terra Incognita that has companion albums on which Michael Sadler, Ted Leonard, Eric Norlander,
Lane.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a lot of progressive rock musicians perform on those albums.
Many, if not all of which, will be at the festival this year. It's actually kind of an embarrassment of riches this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. The esteemed Michael Sadler coming back again.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
This time with a brand new band that didn't exist until about a month and a half ago, roughly.
Oh, wow.
We helped. It was a bunch of us all helping put that band together. It's an all-star cast, but primarily the stars are Michael and his son Saren.
Excellent.
And this is how Michael wants to move into the next chapter of his musical career, to leave a legacy with and for his son.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they are actually opening for the esteemed Steve Hogarth on Sunday night. So there are opening act for the headliner, and then Mr. Hogarth is our headliner. Saturday night, our headliner is Pattern Seeking Animals, which is an amazing band.
Yeah.
And Friday night we have Io Earth from the UK. But the interesting thing is Io Earth is doing something that they've never done outside of Birmingham before. They're doing the Orchestra of Sound and Emotion, which is Io Earth plus strings and horns.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
That's going to be a unique soundscape and a completely new Io Earth experience for the U.S. audience. So.
Very cool. Very cool. This sounds like a really fun event, and it sounds like there's like a lot of different things, and it's not just watching music. Not that that's not amazing in and of itself, but that there's these added layers that I think is really cool. Ken, as our resident witness here for this little shindig, I'd be curious to hear you share your thoughts on your experiences at ProgStock and all this stuff going on.
I think he's still on mute.
Are you on mute, Ken? Or is the signal that bad?
No, he's definitely on mute. And the signal is that bad.
It's a little both. I knew I was taking my chances.
I'm your 3.5 day kind of patron, where I try to get the most out that I can possibly get out of ProgStock. But for the record, you guys, when Dave goes to put this online, he might appeal to some folks who would just pop in for a night. So are all of these headliners available as one-offs?
Yeah, so you can buy a 3-day pass. And now right now online, you can also buy a single day pass. You can just buy Friday or Saturday or Sunday or some combination thereof.
Or even Thursday, which
but
is when we start.
At the door, we actually offer headliner passes where you can just come and see the headliner on any given day. But we only offer those at the door.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Good. Yeah, I don't want to come off like we're all the cultists and we're in it to win it, and it's all or nothing. People come and go throughout the festival based on bands that they know and love, and that's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and there's even some outdoor stuff that the locals can just come to and enjoy. Robert Schindler comes up every year from North Carolina representing the Bob Moog Foundation, and he is outside with a rack of keyboards and a guitar and a theremin and all sorts of fun stuff. And randomly, our professional musicians will go out there and just jam with him for a little while. And that's outside the doors, so you don't even need a ticket for that. You can come sit and watch Roby One all day, and no ticket necessary. We also have a couple of listening parties, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, where a band that has a new album comes and just plays that new album. And again, that's outside the doors.
Nice.
So, we're trying to introduce the community to the music that we love. And one of the ways that we do that is by having a presence in the plaza outside the venue, where people don't actually have to, pay a dime to come and enjoy the music.
Although we hope that they're enticed by it to pay a dime and come on in.
Come on inside, yep. Yeah. And of course, Roby One has a lovely donation box for the Bob Moog Foundation as well. We call him the patron saint of ProgStock. All of the proceeds from his personal music that he produces, actually goes to the Bob Moog Foundation. So he's a great person and a great musician.
Yeah. Nice. I got to say, it's not truly a party until somebody brings a theremin.
Right.
Ask Devin Townsend.
And it's an even better party if they have no idea how to play it.
True.
I also got to sing props for the other artists that you didn't mention as headliners, but who are just incredible. Melanie Mao and Martin Schnella and their group coming from Germany. Discipline's amazing. And this year, don't you have the Siberium?
Yes.
We do, yes.
I mean, even if you want to call that your B roster, they're incredible acts.
Well, you want to talk about, there's really no Bs on this list, to be honest with you. And I know you didn't mean that that way, but Mike Keneally and Beer for Dolphins, kind of back together as the original quartet. It's just going to be incredible.
And they're opening up on Sunday afternoon. They're just opening Sunday basically. Yeah. And they're preceded by Dave Bainbridge and Sally Muneer. And if anybody knows Dave Bainbridge from the Straubs or Life Signs or Iona, Dave and Sally are incredible. And Sally has the voice of an angel.
Which is genetic. She gets it from her family. Her father, Kerry Muneer, co-founder of Gentle Giant, of course. Yeah. Speaking of which, we'll have Derek Schulman in the house, interviewing him a couple of times during the weekend because he's releasing a new book that is kind of, we just learned today, for a short while now, it's exclusively available at our festival and at one other book signing he's doing in New York City, because the actual book shipments have been delayed till November. So if you want it before everyone else, come to ProgStock and you'll get it signed and everything. But other artists, we have the absolutely always has to be with us can't say enough about Rachel Flowers, one of the most brilliant musicians. I think if anyone who sees them will come to that conclusion. One of the most brilliant musicians they've ever seen and heard. And then similarly gifted is Peter Jones, coming over to us from the UK, who has his own great music as Tiger Moth Tales, but also has toured with the likes of Camel. And it's just, absolutely amazing that he's going to even come back. He hasn't been with us since 2017. He was actually at the very first edition of ProgStock, in the very first set to ever hit our stage. It was Peter Jones together with Rachel Flowers, and the leader of that group was Francis Dunnery. So it was quite an amazing first set to ever hit our stage. So
under the small world category, I'm good friends with Francis's girlfriend.
Oh, there you go. Great.
We used to work together briefly, so I've always I saw him a bunch of times before they were together at her urging. So he is indeed a blast to go see perform, because
he's amazing. He's really incredible.
And we always say that every year there's a surprise or a sleeper. A band that people come and they don't know what to expect, and they go home. And, or they really what they do is they come to the merch table or the meet and greet afterward, and they're like, "You're the best band I've ever heard," And several years back, the Siberian was with us, in 2019? The Siberian was that sleeper at that festival, and now they're out with a new album and coming back. But we have some new bands, probably that a lot of our audience has maybe never heard before, like Points North is one of the bands this year, and Funhouse Mirrors. Funhouse Mirrors is actually a group of young people from New Jersey, not a single one over the age of 22, who are producing original and new progressive rock music. So it's great to have bands like that on the roster as well.
Yeah.
And, as Ken mentioned, Melanie Mao and Martin Schneller are coming over. But they're also bringing 2 other musicians with them. So this year they're like MMMA, Melanie, Martin, Matthias, and Andy. And while they're here, instead of just doing their Melanie and Martin set like they usually do, they're also going to bring us music from another band that they head, which is Flaming Row, which is a little bit more electric and hard hitting than the typical Melanie and Martin set. So really a lot of exciting stuff happening at the festival this year.
Yeah, indeed. And I'll attest to some of those that I've seen. I was lucky enough to catch Peter opening for Marillion at one of their Marillion weekends about 3 years ago, which was the first one I got to attend. And he was great. He did it was wonderful. Of course, Mike Keneally is always fun. He's, again, with another Devin Townsend connection here all of a sudden, Theremans and Keneally.
Yep.
First time I saw him up there, I could have sworn somebody's English teacher had escaped and grabbed the guitar and just run up on stage. He's such an unassuming guitar god.
What's going to come out of him? It's just amazing. And on the top of that, he is the most unassuming, humble, wonderful person in the world to just interact with, let alone work with. He's just a mensch in every sense of the word. And last year, Mike came literally as kind of a utility player. He didn't have a set to play. He was just up for grabs. So we literally told our roster last year, hey, Mike Keneally will be in the house and is willing to play with anyone. And the number of times we had to hear things like, what? Are you kidding me? From the other artists. So he was sat in on like 6 or 7 sets. He did wind up doing a set because unfortunately our great friend Patrick Moraz had to pull out both this year and last year due to health concerns, and we'll keep trying. But he did a spot set for us that was absolutely great. And then when he sat in last year with Gong, if that video, that has to go somewhere, because that was one of the most brilliant performances in front of a band as energetic as Gong is these days. That is just one for the books. It was so amazingly done. And this year, of course, he's bringing Beer for Dolphins. And I hear Mike is also going to sit in with at least IO Earth and maybe 1 or 2 other acts. So can't keep him off the stage. I have to have a cane and a baseball bat, I think.
And one of the fun things that we do at the festival is a pre-festival event on Thursday night, and that's the only night when we have a tribute or cover band, right? Almost always a tribute band. Yeah. And this year, Roby One is actually opening, so he'll be on the stage instead of just out in the plaza. And then the Rush tribute band known as Fred Barchetta will be playing. Followed by what we call Last Call Live, which is our Pro-Am Jam, where attendees actually get to sign up to play songs, and then some of our professional musicians hop up there and join them as well. And really, some of our attendees are professional musicians, yes. So it's
so when a band that's never really rehearsed gets up there to play Supper's Ready, it will actually come off very well.
So, believe it. Yeah. Believe it. If you've got the cool unions to get up on stage and go on a whim and play Supper's Ready, I gotta imagine you came prepared.
Yeah, you hope so, right? You don't want to. That's a train wreck you don't want to be a part of, right?
Yep.
One does not just walk into Genesis.
Right.
Last year, the guys who chose to play a Gentle Giant song needed a keyboardist, and so Keneally actually hopped in on that one, and they were just like, okay, we get to play Gentle Giant with Mike Keneally. Because, if you
bucket list assumed.
If you see Mike, everybody thinks guitar god, but if you see Mike when he plays his solo work, like with Beer for Dolphins, he's got keyboards, a microphone, and a guitar, and sometimes he's doing all three at the same time. Mm-hmm. I really don't know how many brains he has, but he must have more than one, because I don't know how you could possibly do all of those things and not stop breathing.
He is an impressive dude. He really is.
He really is.
For me, I think from my bands I'm most looking forward to finally seeing, well, one I've already seen. I've seen H perform with Marillion a number of times, but I've not seen him do H natural. So there was one time I think he came through in that configuration down at World Cafe Live, and that was like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago or something, and I wasn't able to make it. But Pattern Seeking Animals in particular is a band that I know does not get around a lot, does not get to play around as often as they deservedly should be. So I got to speak to Jimmy Keegan a couple years back. So I look forward to talking to them, or not talking to them, but watching them, and maybe talking to them. It'd be nice to say hi to Jimmy in person.
It's very immersive. You'll be able to talk to them, believe me. Yeah. And this is the third time they're actually going to play with us. We like to bring bands back when they have new material, and Pattern Seeking Animals tends to produce what I think is 2 albums every 5 minutes. So, so they're very prolific, and they're going to have some great material. And this year, the band is actually going to be augmented by an additional member that many people already know on keys and in other ways. Bill Hubauer will be joining that band. And Bill is, of course, in the Neil Morse band, as as a number of other things, but also his own band, We Came From Space, will be at the festival this year as well, opening the whole thing off for us. So it's an embarrassment of riches, like I said before. And, one other thing of note, because I think there's only one band on this roster we haven't mentioned yet, and that is something that I would consider prog adjacent as well, but is one of those things we like to bring that is a little different, a little bit of an ear cleanser, if you will. This is a little bit more folksy trio called the Kate High Note Trio. Now, to be fair, I know it's prog influenced because their violin player is Mr. Matthew Parmenter from Discipline. So there's going to be that influence in there no matter how you slice it. But what a beautiful set of melodies that they've put together. And the voice of Kate is just incredible. We have so many wonderful voices, female voices this year, whether it's Rachel Flowers, Kate High Note, Haley Griffiths from IO Earth. It's just going to be, again, we always have a strong vocal contingent.
Go Women of Prague.
Especially in women. And it's, and we can't wait for that annual picture of the ladies of Prague.
Yeah.
All from our audience. That will be another great strong showing this year.
Yep.
Sounds great to me, because I agree. More women in Prague, because it has been a bit of a sausage fest for too long.
You said it, I didn't, but I thought it.
But I really appreciate the line for the ladies' room.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
It's a little challenging at our festival, actually.
Yeah.
While we're speaking lastly of female voices, the band Fred Barchetta, that is our Rush tribute this year. The bones of that band are actually the original instrumental progressive rock band called Points North, which is also playing a set during the festival proper.
Oh.
But when they add their fourth member and become Fred Barchetta, the member that they've added is a woman named Darby Gould, who was the singer to take over in Jefferson Starship after Grace Slick left the band and was chosen by Grace. So her voice is obviously, as you might imagine, also going to be stunning. So
that's impressive. I wonder how Getty feels about all these Rush tribute bands with female singers.
I was thinking that same thing, because there's a great one in Central PA named Solar Federation that has a wonderful female lead singer as well. And there's a lot of them. And well, hey,
he knows his voice is high. I don't think anybody's telling him that, no, you sing with a very low voice.
Yeah, right.
So,
if I were him, I would take it as a point of pride that the other men are not man enough to cover me.
That's right.
Good point. Very good point. Yes.
Although I don't know if Keneally can hit the high notes, he sounds like he's on his way to being Getty if he is playing guitar and keys at the same time.
Yes, that's right.
Does he have a double neck?
No, he does
well,
not.
he might have one.
I don't think he has one, but how would he play that?
I'm saving that question for him.
We'll find a way to play all four things at the same time then somehow.
Yeah, there's an extra hand there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, this sounds like an amazing event, and I'm really very much looking forward to it. And again, yes, I will deal with my shame for being so slow to get there.
It's okay.
October tends to be a very busy month in our lives too, because it's
welcome to the family in advance. Welcome to the family, and hopefully you can be there for all four. I don't know, as much of it as you can. I'm
Thursday's a maybe, because I know at least I have to work that day and we'll be driving up, but I have to look at the timing again, whether or not that's a possibility.
Gotcha.
But certainly the other 3 days, and I didn't think fully ahead to take off Monday. And now I can't take off Monday, so okay. Well, I'll get done CNH, and I'm going to drive home that night, and I'll take the hit and get up groggy in the morning.
That's what coffee's for.
That's what the New Jersey Turnpike is for. Usually at that hour of the night, turn on the cruise control and take a nap.
Yeah. Oh, ow! Don't do that. Please don't do that.
Looks like other people.
Yeah, after the festival, we'll actually be going out on the road. With Mike Keneally, Beer for Dolphins, Dave and Sally, and Matt Dorsey, and taking a little tour from New York City out to Chicago. So we've got 5 more shows after the festival. And so, folks can look for those links and see if we're playing anywhere near them. Even if they're at the festival, they'll be home by then. Yeah. And if they're not at the festival and they just want to see Beer for Dolphins, they can come out in their hometown. We're playing in New York City at the Cutting Room, Annville, Pennsylvania at the Allen Theater, Beachland Tavern in Cleveland, Sweetwater in Fort Wayne, and then Reggie's in Chicago. And that wraps up the tour. So that'll be fun as well. And then for folks who can't make it out to the festival in person, we do live stream. So those links are available as well if people want to see a show or multiple shows. We sell it by the show. That way, folks don't have to commit to 12 hours in front of their computer.
Which I say is a genius move on your part, the way you guys have found various different ways that people can take part in this festival, as opposed to just having to buy a 3-day ticket or a single-day ticket. That to me shows a lot of creativity. I think that's a really great idea you got there.
Well, thank
you. Dave, one thing it sounds like you might have to either choose to miss or just stick it out a little longer for is that immediately after H's performance on Sunday, we will then segue into what will now become a tradition since we were married last year on stage at ProgStock. Every year after the festival ends is our anniversary, regardless of what date it actually is. So we will have an anniversary party, which means the 2 most important words in the English language, free cake. Everyone.
You have my attention.
I'm going to segue to just one thing. It seems like 2 years in a row there was an Eagles-Giants game happening during the festival. Is this something to be aware of for traffic purposes?
Yeah, so Ken, last year that was the case. The Eagles-Giants played at MetLife Stadium. So much so that last year when H was with us, someone took him to the game. So that was, good. And it did create some traffic. This year, no games locally. We are completely devoid of the NFL. So no worries.
Oh,
Yeah, the interesting thing about last year, if you remember, the dates were not our typical dates. Normally, we run ProgStock on what is known as Columbus Day weekend, because a small portion of the population still has Monday off, which is nice. But last year, Columbus Day weekend and Yom Kippur coincided, and we're not going to stomp on the most important holiday in the Jewish calendar. So we moved ourselves out another week into October,
and right into the face of the Eagles.
Because of that, we got the Eagles Giants at MetLife.
Yeah.
But usually MetLife Stadium is quiet Columbus Day weekend, so that's kind of another reason to stick to our guns with that one.
excellent. Good to hear.
So cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, sounds like last year there were probably a larger number than usual of people napping on the turnpike heading south.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Well, and I mean, the other thing that, that happens when those games are in town is the hotels fill up and become excruciatingly expensive. But this year we actually do have a group booking code for folks on our website to book a room at the host hotel for a very reasonable rate for
area
for the weekend, considering where the festival takes place.
Yeah.
So we endeavor every year to try to help folks with some kind of hotel concession if we can. And then, of course, people have all sorts of other ways of booking hotels,
or Airbnbs or what have you.
Yeah.
You guys got it covered. I got to tell you, you've got every base covered.
You're 9. I hope so.
They've got a bar in the joint, and you can imbibe if you'd like. Also, there's pumpkin carving right in the middle of the joint. You're going to have vendors there. You can engage with graphic artists and, of course, folks selling CDs. So it really is like a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Hey, Ken, you're hired. We need a marketing person.
Yeah.
This was the marketing.
Yeah,
I gotta run. You guys, all right. You guys are awesome. That's all the marketing you get from me today. Hugs, and I can't wait to see everybody at the event. All right,
hugs in person.
You too, Ken. We'll see you soon. Yep.
Right. Thanks, Ken.
All right,
Rock
Ken,
and
thanks
roll.
for joining us, man. Have a good night.
Excellent.
Yeah. But what Ken was mentioning is important too. We actually do have quite a group of fine artists at the festival. In addition to the world famous pumpkin sculptors that come out, many of whom have been on or are judges on Food Network for Halloween Wars and shows like that. We also have Annie Haslam coming out with her fine artwork from Renaissance. We have Armando Gallo coming with his photography. He was one of the first photographers for Genesis back in the Gabriel days.
Wow.
So he has exclusive pictures that nobody else ever could have taken. We have Michael Bennett from Prog Day coming up with his paintings. Victoria Flowers, who is Rachel Flowers' sister, who does album artwork and other fine art drawing. Who else do we have?
We're going to be selling the art of Patrick Moraz in his absence.
Right. I will have Patrick Moraz.
Because he would have been with us to sell it himself or to be there.
Oh, wow.
And we also have our friends from Eastern Pennsylvania called EMIAP, the Electronic Music Education and Preservation Project. And they have a museum quality warehouse of very, very influential, consequential musical instruments and items from all sorts of musical history past. They have been for quite some time now the stewards of Keith Emerson's modular Moog, and we're hoping that one day they'll bring it.
Yeah, and every year they lend us Greg Lake's Nord Stage 2 for Rachel to play as her synth.
That's right.
So and Rachel and Greg were actually good friends before he passed. as she was also, great friends with Keith Emerson. So it's great connections, and there's a reason why our Facebook page is called ProgStock Family. We really do feel like it's a family. This great group of people.
Right.
Yeah, you start to get that impression. It certainly is. Ken shows up for the whole thing. Paul Zotter might have joined us as well, but he had other engagement that prevented him from going. Paul and I actually go back to college, so that's why I know Ken.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Paul and I were back at WIXQ, Millersville, go Marauders, back in the day. So,
Nice.
Goes way back. And Ken was someone I was very pleased to meet through Paul. So
the Palaver guys are great.
Yeah.
It's really great to work with them.
Yeah.
We're still using Progressive Palaver Sharpies. They made a set of Sharpies for us a couple of years back, and I'm still giving them away and using them. And people come to me at an event and say, "You have a Sharpie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, and you can keep it. Just look up the guys on the side of it." So,
Right.
Sharpies. I never would have thought of that.
Co-marketing, you just never know.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very cool. Well, I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a lot of fun to hear about this and to get myself prepared and hopefully share the fun with those who are out there and haven't heard of it yet, or are on the fence, or didn't know all the options they had because they were worried, well, I can't go both days, or all 3 days, 3.5 if you include Thursday night, so knowing all those options are out there, I think is a big thing. And for those that didn't know, but for those that are just getting on board, right here is where you're talking about not just a show, but an event, but an art show, but a chance to maybe, rub elbows a little bit with some Prog Illuminati.
Yeah, and it's what I think of as a very fan immersive experience, without the velvet ropes, without the whole ton of worries about security problems. We have people making sure everything is civil and safe, but even the artists know this is going to be more than just a meet and greet. You're going to be able to see someone sitting in an audience, watching another musician in between shows, buy someone a drink if you like, have a conversation. It's always like that, and very often other musicians come either as our guests or as audience members. Some of whom we may even announce are there because they're going to represent a band that's going to be playing next year at ProgStock. So you could always look out for that. We make announcements as that happens right at the festival. And the last thing I want to say about that kind of subject is, we know that really the most effective way for this to work and to grow is by word of mouth. Yeah. We're never going to wind up with a television commercial. We're not going to wind up with a little spot on MTV or even Sirius XM, I don't think. So the reach is always an issue. And we try to talk with as many people who do what you do, as well as talk to other people who say such great things about being a part of the festival, and just ask them, hey, just mention it to 5 or 10 people in your life. Even if 1% of those people eventually come around, we'll be able to fill the joint and have a great time. So bring your friends, please. Bring people off the street if you like. Whatever makes you happy.
Round up the subway car on your way.
Yeah, what the heck? They're all welcome.
I know a few folks who could be interested.
There you go.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thanks so much, Dave. We really appreciate anybody who helps give voice to this passion project of ours.
Pleased to do it.
We do it every year. We do it for the people that come.
And for the musicians
that play it. So
it's awesome. It is absolutely my pleasure. I look forward to meeting the two of you in person and being there be there for my first ProgStock. Get my Prog cherry popped.
There you go.
Okay. And I hope you stick around for a slice of cake. We'll talk to you then.
Cake sounds good. Cake sounds good. All right, folks. Thank you. Have a good night and take care. Many thanks to Ann Rinaldi and Tom Palmieri of ProgStock. It was my pleasure meeting you guys and chatting with you, and you definitely have me super excited to attend my very first ProgStock. Sounds like it'll be a blast, and I hope it is very, very successful. And of course, a big thanks to Ken Gregory of the Progressive Palaver for joining us as well. Ken, always great to see you, my friend, and talk music with you. And hey, those of you out there watching and listening, quick plug, if you enjoy prog music, and I'm thinking you do if you are here at this moment, you certainly need to check out the Progressive Palaver, a truly fun podcast that will take you through pretty much every prog album in existence and a few other things as well. And of course, my thanks to all of you watching, listening. Thank you for coming along for the ride. If you are enjoying what I'm doing, well, you know the drill. And finally, I leave you with the usual reminder, never fear to deviate from the norm, and as always, keep it proggy.